Howdy Howlers, it's Sako Toomey, also known as Castboy, and today we're gonna read this book. We're gonna read this book and we're gonna talk about demons. I'd like to say hello to the people. Hello, Katerina. Hello, Christina. I know I'm a little bit early today. What is in my hair? What? A fuzzy of some kind? What is happening? Plastic? I don't know how I got plastic in my hair, but okay. Yay, you are here. You are here, and you are here, and you are here. Hooray, hooray, hooray. So, we're mostly going to talk about the relationship with demons and how to banish them. And, like, we talked about the different kinds of demons yesterday, right? Break negative patterns. Counter Imposter Syndrome. We're getting close to the end of the chapter. Spell for rejection, etc. Hello, Raven. Yes, we are early this morning. I normally don't stream on Tuesdays because at 10 o'clock I am usually in an appointment. So I thought I would stream since I'm up an hour before. Why don't I go ahead and stream? Early, I see. Good thing the smell burnt woke me. My weird roommate likes waffles with extra char. I like mine, like, crunchy. Charred waffles. Well, charred waffles, spelled that way, would imply that they are made out of greens. And that is a weird mental image to me. Okay, good morning, good morning. Good morning, good morning. Normally I would fill this hour with some kind of work that I may or may not get to later, but today I thought I would talk to my friends. Ha 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 ha, you're spelling. Ha 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 ha. So I'm not sure if you hung out yesterday. Cleaning yet again. Hello, Kat. It is good to see you. You can listen to us in the background. It'll be good. Collared waffles. Yeah, no kidding. He burns those poor Eggos. Well, you know, like, let him enjoy his burnt waffles, even if it does impede your sleep via stinky waffles. I was here yesterday. I remember the talk about humans. Okay, cool. Very cool. Looks like we got a good crowd going. All right, we can start off, since we talked about the demons yesterday, that they made up, by the by, I will note. However, I did feel a little called out by some of those demons. A personal exorcism spell. When a personal demon is living in your brain, you need an exorcism. This spell will help you weaken and eventually evict your unwelcome mental guest. Hi, Jace. How you doing? How you doing? I think I have like a tension headache, like starting to starting to fuck with my head. I can't help what he likes, and our old house has no central ventilation, so the burnt smell goes to everyone's room. That is unfortunate. He should at least like counter it with a pleasant smell of some kind. Okay, what you'll need is a piece of paper, flitter of stormtroopers, yes. Better this week. I'm so glad to hear that. Flitter of stormtroopers. Okay, what you'll need: a piece of paper, a black pen and a red pen, matches, a small fireproof bowl, i.e. a cauldron, and your favorite perfume. I just got a notification of some kind. I don't know. When a romantic partner, family member, or boss has treated you badly for a long time, sometimes you internalize their criticism, disapproval, or blame and direct it against yourself even when that person is long gone. It's like they left behind a mean little parasite demon copy of themselves living in your brain to do their dirty work. Or maybe your internal negative voice isn't a copy of someone, but has been living in your head for as long as you can remember, telling you that you're worthless and bad. Either way, an exorcism will take care of it. On the piece of paper, write in black pen the negative things your inner nemesis tells you about yourself. Be as specific as possible. Maybe you can even write the story of a specific experience that haunts you. Then use the red pen to draw the demon on top of your words. Make it as ugly and as vicious as you feel it is. Fold the paper and place it in the bowl. Then light it with a match. As it burns, recite these words: "You hold no power, you are not welcome, I am not what you say I am." As long as it has like a steel bowl in it, like my goblet has like a steel bowl, so I might be able to use my goblet as a cauldron. But I think a proper cast iron cauldron would probably be better. Because cast iron. Mix the ashes with a few drops of perfume. If you don't have a favorite perfume, use a bit of olive oil or coconut oil instead. Dip a finger in the ashes and draw 2 X's on yourself, one on your forehead and one on your chest. Recite the incantation again, then shower and wash away the curses. For extra power, mix the remaining ashes into your shampoo and wash those demons right out of your hair. Where was that when I was a teenager? Jeez. Witch history on demons and daemons. For hundreds of years, the word demon has connoted a being of pure evil. In texts describing the persecution and accused witches, such as the Malleus Maleficarum, demons were consorts of the devil, either controlled by witches to do their evil bidding or sent by the devil to possess them. Sometimes the witches themselves were demons. However, demons haven't always been evil, and other definitions of the term are much more useful to the modern witch. The word is derived from the ancient Greek daemon, meaning a guided spirit. A daemon could be benevolent or evil. Essentially, it was a powerful force. In Plato's writings, Socrates talks about having a daemonion, a little demon, which operated as a kind of spidey sense, a consciousness that would tell him if what he was about to do was dangerous. According to Plato's Symposium, love, too, is a great daemon that mediates between humans and gods. I like the sing-along that's happening in the chat right now. That guiding spirit can be interpreted either as an inner soul or a literal spirit that exists outside the body. Judaism, Hinduism, Zoroastrianism, and many other ancient religions have daemon. I'm going to say diamond-like creatures in their mythologies, part human, part divine characters that meddle in human affairs with varying degrees of success. In the Old Testament, they were false idols that the pagans worshipped and that held no real power. When the term was imported into the New Testament, it took on the meaning of a malevolent and real force. In Acts 16:24, the apostles Paul and Silas came upon a slave girl possessed by a demon that allowed her to read fortunes and predict the future. Paul declares, "In the name of Jesus Christ, I command you to leave her," and the demon leaves, much to the chagrin of the girl's owners, who were profiting from her powers. In Mark 5, Jesus heals a man possessed by demons who declares, "My name is Legion, for we are many." Jesus drives the demons from him, but the message is clear. Demons make you not yourself. They are there only to harm, not to help. Nowadays, we often spell diamond or daemon and demon differently to distinguish between the two concepts, but they're still easy to confuse, especially if they are spoken aloud rather than written. But the idea of a friendly, if mischievous, spirit that follows you around and tries to help you sounds much more fun than being possessed by an evil monster, and it's an idea that exists in modern culture. Jiminy Cricket, a fairy godmother, and the daemons in the Golden Compass are contemporary fictional examples of the guiding spirits we all wish we had. Hair does hold on to funk. I think twisting my hair helped a lot when I was detaching from my ex. Yeah. Listening to your inner voice can take a lot of effort, but thinking of that voice as your guiding demon, you might find it easier to hear. You're listening not to yourself, but to a trusted confidant that has your best interests at heart. Or you can listen to an evil demon, but if bad things happen, we had nothing to do with it. Break a spell to break negative patterns. This spell will help you disrupt damaging repetitive behaviors by facilitating the release of the physical, emotional, and spiritual attachments that hold you back. What you'll need is a blue string long enough to be tied around your neck and a square of bubble wrap. A bad habit is essentially a commitment, an inadvertent, hurtful commitment of either convenience, fear, or laziness. Interesting. We procrastinate when we know we should be getting work done. We call the same guy again and again, even though he's been passive aggressive and mean. We keep saying yes to that one friend, even though we know we mean no. We commit to doing the same thing over and over, and the pattern becomes harder and harder to break. Change is hard, but not impossible, and symbolically freeing yourself with a spell is a good start. Loosely tie the blue string, which represents wisdom and clarity, around your neck. Think of the pattern you are trying to break, such as always saying yes to a friend's repeated requests for favors. Imagine a specific example, something you cannot do every single day, like drive them to their soccer practice or spend 3 hours talking about their relationship. Envision a calendar and one day at a time, fill the calendar with their requests until every day is full. Okay. Pick up the bubble wrap and say, I release myself from this connection and I banish it to where I cannot bind me. Pop the bubble wrap one bubble at a time, moving row by row while repeating the same enchantment until you've popped all the bubbles on the square. Each time you pop a bubble, imagine the day's habit puffing into thin air. When you are done, roll up the bubble wrap, tie the string around it, and throw it in the trash or recycle it if that's available where you live. A spell to counter Imposter Syndrome. Imposter Syndrome is a mind-clouding illusion that makes it impossible for you to see your true potential. This ritual will help you lift the veil from your eyes. What you'll need is a roll of toilet paper, an index card or a piece of paper, a pen or a pencil. This spell is designed to make you feel a little silly while you're doing it. It involves toilet paper after all. Imposter syndrome, the unshakable feeling that no matter your achievements, you're an undeserving fraud who's going to lose everything once people catch on to your inherent insufficiency, may be a profound and genuine source of anxiety. But if we've learned anything from Harry Potter, it's that the best way to deal with fear is to laugh in its face. With your eyes closed, wrap the toilet paper around your head so that it covers your eyes. Wrap it loosely so that you can open them if you want to. Continue wrapping until the toilet paper blindfold is several layers thick. As you wrap, say aloud the things you tell yourself when you're feeling insecure. You can't do this. You don't belong here. Eventually they'll realize you're incompetent. Once your vision is fully blocked, open your eyes. Imagine a glowing figure becoming dimly visible through the layers of paper. This figure is your best self. Concentrate on your achievements, talents, and positive qualities, and envision the figure glowing brighter. When the imaginary figure is bright and you feel suffused with warmth and positive energy, rip the blindfold in half and crumple the tissue into a ball. Examine the crumpled ball, then draw a squiggly line on your paper or index card that represents the shape of the discarded blindfold. Keep this card with you and trace the line with your finger when you need to wipe your vision clear of undeserved self-doubt. It took me a while to it took me a while to like overcome imposter syndrome. I think what did it for me was how many years I had been doing it, like on a daily, like, frequency. Like drawing comics for 8 years every day. Like, it was hard for me to call myself a comic artist if I wasn't drawing comics. So I drew comics, and now I am a comic artist. Granted, I'm getting back into how can I call myself a comic artist if I'm not drawing comics. I have 2 comics that I need to work on. I hope today is that day. The greatest one-word spell, no. During the Salem witch trials, judges and witch hunters were most suspicious of a defiant woman. Those who refused to answer questions, who called their accusers liars, who refused to implicate other women. For example, accused witch Sarah Osborne refused to cave to leading questions about her supposed witchy activities. When asked why she hurt children, she said, "I do not hurt them." In transcripts, this appears to infuriate her accuser. In a 1720 essay by Frances Hutchinson, another woman on trial named Sarah Good is quoted as having told interrogators, "I am no more a witch than you are a wizard, and if you take away my life, God will give you blood to drink." In short, no is the word of people who do not obey. It's often said that no is a complete sentence, and it's true. Those 2 letters together make one of the more powerful spells that exist. The power of no is that it lets you stand up for what you believe in. No lets you get what you want, but no may also be the hardest sentence in the English language to say. I see imposter syndrome as a sign I'm doing something right. The spell that broke, it was me. Dude, you already have the XP, right? Exactly. Like talking about like horror and stuff. Like, I have the XP, I might as well share it, right? Although there are many dark and nebulous forces pushing back against your use of it, no also contains the ultimate power to defeat them. It can become your Patronus, a bolt of defiant confidence. Here are a few of those forces and how to use your one-word spell to stop them in their tracks. I don't doubt my skills. My issue is knowing there are so many others out there producing. Oh, comparison. I have a fear that I have something awesome to give, but it's getting drowned out in a glut of other stuff. I think you talking about Rose City editing in your introduction and outro is a good way of being heard through the din. I found your horror advice helpful. Oh, thank you. Also, you're welcome? Question mark? Bailey has figured out the thermostat. Oh no, every day there's something I need to teach her not to touch. Yeah, that's the thing. You can't be mad at a kid for messing with the thermostat. You just teach her, don't touch that, please. Is that like a situation where she can stand on the couch and reach the thermostat. Currently, my thermostat is not reachable by small children. Society also reinforces that other people wins are my loss. Oh. I try not to think of that. I try to be happy for my people who succeed. I celebrate their successes. When am I comparing? I think the only time I compare myself is when like a 16-year-old artist in like Malaysia or some shit like that has posted a thing like, I got this job doing character design stuff, and the art is impeccable. The art is amazing. On one hand, I'm like, how I wish I would have had the resources that that kid has now when I was that age. And instead, I'm more like, if a 16-year-old can do it, then odds are pretty good that eventually I can do it too. Granted, I got a late start, but I try and turn it in such a way that I can be happy for them, and I can use it as inspiration instead of comparing. She pulls anything she can just to play with it. It's one of those nest things. Oh, that spins. She is pulling the step stool over there as we speak. Oh, no. The step stool is usually for hanging things or garages. So it's about a foot taller than she is, and it's super funny to watch her pull it with all of her might, almost like she's worked so hard. Just let her have this one. So that's a toxic, like, thought process that I've tried to avoid for pretty much my entire life. I try to be inspired. No, it's not that I try to be inspired. I'm more likely to be inspired by good art and good artists. Like, like I befriend those artists because like I can learn so much from them. Holy crap. But that's why you have tons of XP. Total feels. Yes. My path is different than the 16-year-old. I used to avoid artist alleys because of that feeling. Oh, it's better to cheer on. It is better to cheer on. I feel like the first person I ever saw at an artist alley was someone who was squatting, and the art was not stellar. But they were selling the hell out of it, and I was like, if that is selling, then surely my art will sell. I love this conversation. Inspiration over intimidation. Woo! It has been a hard, deep lesson, but it is much better now. Occasionally it creeps back. Oh. Yeah, comparison is definitely toxic thinking. What is up with my lighting? No. It's like bleaching me out. I remember my drive to write taking an almost fatal hit when that 16-year-old put out Aragon. Oh, like, why couldn't I have done that? And of course, I was in my 20s by that point. Because so when it comes to releasing books, the whole thing is, yes, you can do that. The trick is like, you have to have enough pride in your product to put it out there. And the person who wrote Aragon, for one, it's YA, right? And for two, it's like they did the work, they did the time, and they have a product in their hand that they can hand over, which is more to say than any of us, right? That's how I felt about Divergent. Yeah. So it's having the product and putting it out there. That's the tricky part, right? That's what you should be jealous of. It's not so much the work that you are like, that should bother you. Like, unless there's like some really hella good wordcraft going on in there, in which case you'd be like, God damn, this is really good. Why can't I write like this? It feels like something to show, but I'm in a giant bazaar of people who just yell louder and suck up all the attention. Oh, well, you have a sales page and I don't know, like, I feel like you handle it in a far more professional fashion than a lot of people. So I think it's less that they are yelling louder and more that there's just this din and you have to speak louder in order to be heard. And many YouTubers, but I'm doing content and I feel so much better and less grouchy and resentful. Yeah. Yeah. Use those videos to inspire you, man. Sending love, Jace. You absolutely have something to offer, and sometimes you gotta yell louder than the others. If you want your work to succeed, it has to see the light of day. Yeah, absolutely. Remember the yellers in old school artist alleys? Yes, I was one of those yellers. You like art? Come and look at my art. How's it going, buddy? I was a yeller. Nowadays, I wouldn't really do that much. Maybe a little bit, but I'm less invasive with my selling style these days, which is probably why I don't make as much money. Oh, believe me, it was the idea that he'd finished a book at 16 and I hadn't, at whatever age I was at the time, that infuriated me. And 20 or 30 years on, I still don't. So it still sometimes irks me. I'm going to put it out there, Raven. If you have like a finished work, or like a short story or a novel or a novella or anything like that, throw it to Jace. He will edit it and let you know if there are things to fix about it. Jace will help you make your piece the best piece that it can be. For real. They work for Rose City Editing, and there's the hookup. Is Jace is an editor, which is the whole like yelling over the din situation is, I offer editing services. Why isn't anyone taking it? Yeah. It's an effective strategy. Encouragement and celebration is so much more fulfilling than getting bitter and self-hating. You gotta release the jealousy and the book. Yeah. You can write the book, Raven. You can do it. That's what these writing sprints are for, and why we have like writing retreats, and why we have NaNoWriMo, and like maybe fast drafting isn't for you, because I don't think it's for me either. But I try. I know who to go to when I finish my current novel. Yes, exactly. But that's the trick, is you have to finish it. There has to be the end. And you can't keep starting over. Don't do that. Don't keep starting over. Just plow through it. Write the end. Throw it at Jace. Well, I have a number of finished short stories, but my most complete novel is still a climax and a resolution from the end. Oh, that's the exciting part. Oh my gosh. Cheer buff. Yes. Is it that no one has the money? Because everybody spends money at Christmas, right? Or is it just that no one is finishing a book like after Christmas? It's just shitty timing when it comes to productivity. Oh, I have no coffee. So, fighting imposter syndrome and comparison is so I use it as inspiration. For instance, there's this artist that I follow. I bought his book, and his work is amazing and detailed and just astounding. But his policy was, if you don't draw backgrounds, just draw them. Whether you know how or not, you will learn how to draw the background by the time you are done. Like, so looking at his art, like, helped me level up. Should I get more coffee? Needed an overhaul somewhat. So I usually stop at draft 3. Yes, I could go into draft 4 and draft 5, but by then it is a completely different story than when I started. And I might as well have just written 2 books. I don't know what the difference is between each these forms of editing. Okay, so there is line editing, which is they go line by line. They check for grammar. They check for weird wording. They check for messed up rhythm. They misspellings, stuff like that. And then there's developmental edits, which are basically they look at the big picture. They look at the story as a whole and see if it makes a cohesive story. If it doesn't, then chunks can get moved around and a big chunk can get put in and all of that jazz. Then there's proofreading, which is kind of giving it a pass over and catching any of those like things that you missed in the self-edit and any of the things that you missed in the past 3 drafts. There's another one, but I'm not an editor, right? I edit, I do those things, but I do not charge for editing services or anything like that. Well, what is it, cat? You have food. Enjoy your food. He's like, meow, 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 meow. I'm like, what do you want? Creativity candle today. Ooh. Write a book. Write a book. I also have a writing candle. My husband burned it all. So I need to devote. I have this Edgar Allan Poe candle, which is like absinthe and cedar. I'd have to get it. Oh, copy editing. So copy editing is kind of in between the line edits and between the developmental edits. That's basically when you're going through and seeing if everything flows right, if there are any glaring issues. Bailey is now meowing. Jace could probably describe it a lot better than I could. I do it in passes. So the first wave, I go through Edit Minion, which will catch repetitive words, which will catch adverbs that are thrown at the end of sentences, which I try to avoid. It'll catch absinthe just makes the heart grow fonder. Yeah. Lack of coffee. Bailey is my kindred spirit. What an awesome handful she must be. It's awesome. But if you go to Rose City Editing, I'm pretty sure there's a pretty good explanation of which editing does what. I have intention of throwing my Anchor series at him. However, I am in the second act of my first book, and I've been stuck, which is preposterous, because I know, well, I sort of know where it's going. Basically, I'm like, this is the goal. This is the end goal of the scene, and how I get there It's completely discovery writing. There's more of an overlap between line editing and copy editing. Yeah, it goes line to copy to proof, and it's almost more of a spectrum. Yes. Jace is extremely affordable, especially when it comes to editing. So just to throw that out there, Jace is a great deal when it comes to editing. So So is that where the imposter syndrome comes? Like, can you call yourself a writer if you're not writing? What's the difference between I warrant a I say that the difference between a writer and an author is the publishing part. Did you go through the process to publish? I took 2020. It took me like half a year to edit it and to process it in such a way that I could throw it at an editor, mostly for proofreading. But if there was anything glaring, I asked her to point it out to me. And the only thing that she pointed out was was a cultural difference. Like there was some subtle cultural stuff going on in my book, and she didn't understand it. So I had to basically like explain why it was important. Developmental editing is most fun, while line editing is the most tedious. I find developmental editing to be quite intimidating because I know developmental edits come after the first draft. There's no doubt about it. It's going to be a thing. I just discovered that I've done 127 credits and I only need 120 to graduate. I'm missing one class. Holy crap. Then next quarter is your last quarter, I think. I've gotten out of the habit of referring to myself as a writer because there's such a gap between the times where I actually managed to get to writing. Yeah. Hopefully I can make a change in that in the new year. That's saying that Kat is so close to graduating she can taste it. That is basically how it goes. If you write, you're a writer. If you're published, then you're an author. That's how I feel. Absolutely. I graduated from writerdom to authordom when I published my book. I'm not sure because I'm already paying for an entire semester full credit load. Oh, God damn it. I'm changing my schedule to make it easier. Yeah! Also set up for your graduation. So talk to a guidance counselor and see if they can set up your exit stuff. I need to developmentally edit my own work. Well, you think it's the more fun part, so have fun with that. I have to write like a million notes when I edit. Oh my gosh, the sun. The sun. Do 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 do. Well, today was an interesting. We will talk about the power of no tomorrow. It's been mid-70s here the past few days. Holy crap. I'm wearing a sundress. Damn right. I used to struggle with that as an artist, and then I accepted I'm just putting out art that I can monetize on a pedestal. All the ways I express my creativity is valuable, and my house looks great. That's the progress over perfection sort of situation. My husband was drawing commercially for years and years and years. And he was getting frustrated that his drawings weren't selling. So he was like, I'm going to start drawing for me, which was like astounding, step for my husband. And he's been putting out some amazing work. So I feel like, all of your art has value, right? Even your goofy sketches. And I have to say, whenever I do a bunch of thumbnails, I feel really like accomplished. I'm like, I've done all the hard work. Now the easy work is just making it clean. Yeah. That's the developmental edits of a comic book, is the thumbnails. You can be a writer while also on a long break. Also, can't write from an empty cup, as Sage puts it. Absolutely. I currently have just shy of 50,000 words to my most complete novel. That's a sizable chunk of change to get edited, regardless which type I end up requesting. That mindset and insight is brilliant. If I'm my best patron, things go way better. Yeah. Speaking of patron, oh my God, my Patreon stuff. Oh. It's gonna be a challenge. I have been ignoring my Patreon for a couple of months now. I think mostly because I haven't been doing much in the line of art. Oh my gosh, I'm shedding like a dog. Alright, if you liked this video at any point, please hit the like button. And if you would like to see what the rest of this book is like, then hit subscribe and maybe even ring that bell and YouTube might notify you. And I will catch you guys on the flip side. Oh. Also, hi, bye.